As a university, of course, ISU is very interested in the education and training side. How does education, the space education, STEM education, fit into the importance of this?
Regarding STEM education, we have just emerged from a very difficult global financial crisis. The solution to these economic problems is through innovation, and that derives from STEM education. Without STEM education, you will not have innovation, you will not have new patents, new product lines, new developments, new startup companies, and new employment opportunities. And one lesson of the last 20 years where we've seen this huge economic boom built around high-tech systems is, if you want to have a robust, strong economy, you must have a robust and strong STEM education system.
How can Australia play a role in this?
Well, I think Australia could play a role. In fact, I think Australia needs to play a role in this. Australia's economy up until now has been very largely dependent on a huge resources boom, and it's brought a lot of money into the country, but that boom is fading, and the country is starting to face economic consequences of that. If Australia wants to maintain a strong economic base, it needs to have a strong industry base, a strong manufacturing base, a strong research and development base, and you cannot have that unless you have a young population coming out of universities who understand STEM topics. They are essential. They are the path forward for maintaining a strong economic base in the future.
And Andy, as someone who's flown 4 times and who has done missions on different vehicles, different types of mission, what about the crew composition? How do you define the right mix of skills and personalities? And this is a very different thing from a short shuttle or even a long duration station mission. How do you approach the issue of crew composition?
Well, the first thing is the size of the crew is probably not going to be determined by social and crew interaction issues. It's going to be determined by physics and how much mass you can move, and that will set the number of crew persons you can have, and that's certainly not going to be a very large number. And that means the crew persons will all have to be multidisciplinary. They're going to have to be cross-trained. You can't have one doctor, one computer specialist, one engineer. They're all going to have a mix of skills so that they can multitask and do different things. So it's going to require people who are not specialists in just one very narrow area, but people who have shown a capacity to do different things in different areas and to understand them. I think that's going to be essential. The other aspect is the human factors or the sociability, and this is the most intangible part of the whole issue of crew selection. And it's something that NASA as an agency wrestles with and will become more and more important as we face these long-duration missions. The ultimate test is going to be to put people together pre-flight in a training program for the flight and allow them to evolve as a crew, and for specialists to observe to see how that goes, to see if compatibilities or incompatibilities develop, and to take appropriate steps. But it's really going to be in the pre-flight period, which might be the 5 years preparing for one of these missions, where you can really iron out all of these kinds of issues so that you can have a high confidence that the crew you're sending will not have interpersonal issues during the flight.
Well, the people you're describing sound like ISU graduates to me. Andy, let me ask you one last really important question. Would you go?
For a mission to Mars?
Yeah.
I think it would be fascinating. It would be an extraordinary mission. Just imagine you step out onto the surface of a planet which has never seen humankind before, possibly likely never seen life of any kind, and everything about that planet is a different planet. It's a different world. All the rocks and the geology and the whole biosphere, if there is one, is a different world. What an extraordinary adventure that would be. Every day you would see something new. Every day you would see something different. Every day you would be intellectually challenged with new problems. It would be a fascinating adventure to go and do something like that.
It really would, and I'll go with you. Andy Thomas, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.